They should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God! They
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering. These are man-hating women that are standing outside. This is what it's about. They think the husband did it. They're crazy. They've lost their mind.
Do you know why
they're waving for a murderer?
Do you know why the woman is in a wheelchair? Did you even notice that she's
couldn't care less. She's a murderer.
Because she jumped out the window after this happened.
So she should have. I'd have pushed her. They say that Lindsay was in psychosis. I think these women are suffering from psychosis. They've been watching too many true crime Netflix dramas. You know, this was a incredibly privileged woman, incredibly wealthy. She had a nanny, and she's still complaining that she needed help. She could not have got more help from the system that she already have received. This is a murderer who strangled her children one by one. One of the boys ran away, and she chased him down and killed him.
Laurie Watkins.
What you just said was absolutely disgusting.
Thank you.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Thank you.
And you can hear that he's not. Okay?
Why? Because it's true.
You clearly don't care, so pipe down.
I don't care. And by the way, men watching this, if you have a woman sat next to you on the sofa who is defending this murderer, you got to think deeply about this. I've seen weddings.
So we need to have some empathy with.
Talk to your women and find out what are they thinking. They're defending this woman. It's
I don't think anybody's defending what she did, but you can have empathy for what she went through and how she.
I know many women that this has happened to. No, they did not kill their children, but they also, what you failed to mention.
Well, they should be commended because they did.
I've had it with you.
Oh my God, they
And
should be
your
commended. They
sexism
didn't
and
kill their children. She's a murderer. These women are cheering.
They're out there with their babies. These pink shirts. Look at this.
I don't know if you'll ever have this many women in one place at one time who may understand all of us on a level that others don't. So
it's crazy. Here's another one.
Show a hi to Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who's speaking up for the kids?
Thank you.
Guys, this has been a hard case to listen to watch any of the facts. I told KJ, look, it just makes me angry. I'm just angry, actually. I have 6 kids. 6. And yeah, I've experienced postpartum depression. I know exactly what it feels like. And it's real and it can last a long time. So great that some liberal crazy, all the warriors wanted to come out and make this case about postpartum depression. There's plenty of times to make a case for that. And it's before 3 children are murdered. You could have been making this your case for a very long time. So the way that they are out in solidarity, and you're right, KJ, without an ounce of care for the babies, as if they didn't exist in the first place, as if the only person that exists is Clancy, is the woman herself. But I'm not surprised, because these are also probably the same women that are so pro-choice that they would allow murder of a baby after 40 weeks.
Damn.
They are Baal worshipers. As far as I'm concerned, this is Moloch. This is somebody mentioned something similar in the comments. This is demonic. It is evil. And I'm not saying that you can't have a psychosis or a break. I'm going to call out our super chatter, the Scrapping Beauty. I agree. It says a killer of more than one is not psychosis. You stop at 1 if truly sick. I work with depressed people. You stop after harm of 1 normally if you're truly sick, because this woman did this with her hands.
Let's talk about the women that, again, these are so-called mothers, women, you would think they have maternal instincts. No mention of the children. All we hear is them talking about this woman.
Women deserve support, and Lindsay didn't receive the support that she deserved.
We love you, Lindsay, and we're here for you. We're here to show support and love for her. Today is to support the postpartum health of women. I have 5 children. I feel like anyone who has had kids understands that postpartum period. Lindsay Clancy was begging for help from everything we can see, and I don't think she got it.
Professionally, it hits me, and personally, it hits me. With mental health, we've done a really bad job of recognizing that just because somebody says that they're doing okay, doesn't mean that they're doing okay. I'm here supporting Lindsay because I've been through what Lindsay's going through and been failed with mental health.
She was failed. She was let down. So many women suffer from postpartum, and they don't always get help that they need.
It means a lot to me because I can feel that pain and that disparity as a mother to a mother.
Mother to mother, and nobody is mentioning those babies. I could never do that. I don't care. Let's say I actually believed that this was psychosis. Okay. I still couldn't be at the courthouse out here rallying behind this woman that did this. I just couldn't. There's never any mention of children. And this is how you know this is a spiritual warfare going on right here. Because this is, we live in a society that rallies behind abortion the same way. Yeah. They don't care. They make no mention of the fetuses. It's all about these women. And the same thing here. We never hear the names of the babies. There's never any rally for the babies. It's always for the women.
Matter of fact, if you show pictures, if you actually hold a rally and you have the pictures of the babies, you have those same stupid, disgusting women on the streets shaming you for showing pictures of mutilated babies that have been aborted or children that were murdered because they're saying, how dare you show this? This is inappropriate. This is sick. I'm disturbed by, well, you should be disturbed by the death of the children. You should be disturbed by the dead babies. They were living. And I'm with you guys in the comments, premeditated. Yes, she thought about it. She had a plan. There was even a phone call in the middle, if that's true, allegedly, where she still continued on with the murder of her children. Yeah. And we see this with, Black Lives Matter will come out by the millions with one kid's picture that turns out maybe the kid was a criminal. They don't even care. But here we are fighting for her and not mentioning it. The fact that it's from a mother to mother, if she's a real mother, she should have said, I can't imagine my children being lost like that.
Another woman that is supporting her is Candace Owens.
Corinne writes, I know you're busy, but I'd love to know your thoughts on a Lindsay Clancy case in Massachusetts. I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are
not guilty.
Obviously.
A fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness. Corinne writes, I know you're busy, but I'd love to know your...
Wow.
Candace, we are not... Why are we... I shouldn't be surprised. That woman is to the point where she makes me sick. Candace Owens, you make me sick. Because you know that there are millions of people watching you and you say some stupid stuff like this. Those doctors, sure, maybe the ones that overprescribed her should be in prison right alongside her. Mm-hmm. Because then you can hold them all responsible. The fact that we keep talking, this is a lack of accountability. And again, if she is crazy, over-medicated, if all of that is true, the babies are still dead. All of those things can be true at the same time, and she should not be out on the streets. So I just need to make sure that happens. And the fact that these women are there justifying it, like, oh my gosh, that poor woman, that poor woman, that poor woman, that poor baby that knew that their sibling was murdered and they were next. Like the poor little babies who watched the woman that was supposed to love them the most on this earth take their lives. This is insane. Candace Owens is insane for this then.
Yeah, well, she doesn't care about baby. She doesn't care about the kids involved in any of this. Look at what she's doing to Charlie Kirk's family.
It's true.
She doesn't care about people's children. As long as it gets her the views, she could give a damn. All right. And we know this, the way that she has gone after the mother of Charlie Kirk's kids and his legacy. Because who do you think that hurts? it hurts his legacy. Her going after his company, all right, and everything that he worked so hard for will hurt his kids. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. But we care about the truth. We care about babies. And here in this next clip, we have a woman who actually goes into what has happened in the case, and she debunks the lies women are believing about Lindsay Clancy.
But here are more facts that everyone's choosing to ignore. This whole, she was a married single mom raising those kids herself. The 8-month-old baby was born. The 3 and 5-year-old were in daycare full time. Patrick took a 12-week paternity leave, and they hired a nanny to help with the newborn baby. After the 12-week leave was over, Patrick could see that Lindsay needed more help and support, so he decided to move his office into home and started working from home. So they decided they didn't need the nanny anymore because Patrick was going to stay home. And you guys are saying that this woman had no support? That is false. A key factor that you guys are missing of this whole entire thing, and you're letting this woman play on your emotions, she was a labor and delivery nurse herself. She was in this career path. Lindsay knew, if I tell my doctors that I am hearing voices and having thoughts of harming my children, they're going to be taken away from me. She knew that, okay? She is smart, she's calculated, and this was premeditated. Any woman going through actual psychosis, especially with the career path she was in, being very educated on this, she would have gone to her doctors and said, these kids, I need them away from me because I think I'm going to kill them. She didn't do that. Why? Because she wanted the opportunity to kill her 3 kids. She Googled how to kill. She Googled how long it would take Patrick to go from the house to the restaurant. Okay. She murdered 1 child. Patrick called. She missed the call. She called back after killing 1 child and said, we're good here. Everything's fine. We're fine. Because he was so neglectful, right? But he called her to check in on her. And then she went on to strangle 2 more children.
Yeah.
And then, like, you guys are arguing, well, it was like the medicine putting her in psychosis, like all of that. She was telling doctors that she was anxious and depressed and she tried this medicine, but this medicine was giving her insomnia. And then the doctors were trying to work with her to find a good medication. But now you guys are saying like the Zoloft sent her into psychosis. I thought you were trying to argue that it was postpartum psychosis directly from giving birth and her hormones being up. It's like you guys are letting a very smart and calculated woman manipulate you and play on your emotions, and it's working. And a jury really might let her walk because it's scary.
She's right, folks. I looked up everything. The Boston Globe confirms everything that lady just said. Callan was 8-month-old at the time of January 24, 2023. He was born May 26, 2022. All right. The older children attended preschool and daycare. Okay. Patrick testified they alternated drop-offs and pickups at preschool. The nanny, did you have a nanny, Michelle?
Sure didn't. I wish I
didn't have a nanny. No, I didn't have a nanny either. The nanny testified that Cora and Dawson were normally at school when she arrived to care for Callan. They were only home occasionally. On the day of the killings, which is a Tuesday, they were home because they didn't attend preschool on Tuesdays. Multiple sources describe it as a preschool. It was treated as their regular daytime care arrangement while parents managed work and leave. Patrick, her husband, took a 12-week paternity leave after Callan's birth. That's the 8-month-old. So he confirmed this in his testimony and case summaries. Lindsay had 18 weeks of maternity leave. Patrick had 12 weeks of paternity leave. They were both home that summer. They hired a nanny to help with the newborn. So that's Callan. All right. The nanny was hired around August or September of 2022. She worked part-time, 12 hours a week or 3 days a week from 8:30 to 1:30. She mainly cared for the baby. And she was doing light housework, laundry, food prep, and occasional interaction with the older kids when they were home. All right. After the 12-week of leave ended for Patrick returned to working from his home office. So he didn't even go back to work. He worked from home. So they let the nanny go at that time. Okay, Patrick had already been working from home for years. After paternity leave, he resumed full-time work from home. The nanny was let go in early December of 2022 because Lindsay decided to return to work. So both parents would be home to care for their children. This is all in the Boston Globe. It's all corroborated and everything. Your thoughts, Michelle?
Man. I hate to talk about, when they talk about privilege. This is a lot of privilege. This is honestly, guys, this is rich people problems. Because I delivered a lot of babies. I done delivered 6 children. I didn't have a nanny in sight. I didn't have a husband who had 12 weeks. In fact, my husband worked nights. I was home at night by myself, either nursing a baby while the toddler was over there sleeping and pregnant with another one, all of those things. And yes, sad and depressed and just, I've gone through that. I have zero sympathy for this woman in this case, with the exception that, yes, the doctors may have overprescribed, but she was trained, and I mean trained in medical school, to recognize certain things, to recognize certain symptoms, to recognize certain care. She was calculated in everything else that she did. So right now you want me to believe that she had no clue that this demon was talking to her, which again could very well be the case because she is demonic. Something evil, something wicked has to happen for you to take the lives of your children. But I will not justify it. I will not condone it. I condemn it. It should not be some case where all of a sudden we make it a charge for women's rights. This is not the time to make something about women's rights. This is about children's rights to live. I sound callous, but I'm done. Like the fact that it's the women that are cheering this on that just piss me off to no end. It's those women that are unsympathetic for children's lives. And they're using I've had kids and I understand we all understand what it's like. You know what? Hundreds of years ago, for thousands of years, for all of humanity, essentially until now, this modern, era, 1900s and on, we didn't have medications. You either had children and you worked and you did everything you can or you didn't. Like we had to get by, but now we have excused so much. We've allowed us to get away with so much. And now we're going to use this as some kind of march and everybody's out there in pink, which to me is like you wear that when you're representing breast cancer awareness.
No.
You wear that like in October. That's what we wear this for. This is this is insane. This is sick. This is evil. This is wicked. This is, the scripture says that children will rise and call their moms blessed. That's what they're supposed to do. Moms, there's a covenant between children and parents from the beginning. Before you were born, I knew you. Before you were placed in your mother's womb, I knew you. So get back to the word. Get back to scripture. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days might be long upon the land of the Lord thy God giveth thee. Right? There's so many promises tied to being a mom and us raising our children and our fathers. We are entrusted with them. They are in our care for a short amount of time. So the things that have been happening to kids, children, real babies in the womb, that's horrific enough. Because
this is Christian Conservative. I'm KJ with Michelle Talkington.